What's going on, guys? Alex here, just loitering in an abandoned park, one of my favourite spots. It's funny, I just came in here and started setting up for a potential video, and I just got this shock. This massive rabbit just jumped out of the grass. I've never seen a rabbit of that size just in the wild, in an urban environment, no less. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about making time for spontaneity, or making time for things that perhaps you didn't plan ahead for, and why doing that could be a way to prompt yourself into creating a life that allows for more of it, if that makes sense. So over the last couple of days, I've been more conscious about getting out of the routine occasionally and realizing that I'd been getting sucked into my work and getting sucked into the cycle of work, and then finding myself burned out and a bit bored and a bit kind of fed up of how things are going. And I decided just the other day to take advantage, as my time here in Estonia starts to come to an end, realize there's so many things and places I haven't seen yet. So I decided to just, in the morning, go for a 10-kilometer hike in the nearby forest. Took a taxi there, got my boots on, and just walked into this beautiful, pristine forest. Nobody else around, blue sky, just unbelievable experience. And then earlier today, I was in the coffee shop doing a bit of work, and I decided, you know what? I'm lucky enough to have this situation where I have a bit of flexibility, but this doesn't mean that it's off limits for you guys who don't have as much flexibility, but it's something to consider. And I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't been to the photography museum, photography gallery here, Fotografiska. So I went over there, paid a ticket, just something that I would normally never really do. I'd be too uptight about needing to get work done and needing to get on the routine, but found myself in a really cool exhibition on nature photography, and getting in touch with nature. Very much my thing. I hadn't planned ahead. Turned out to be an ideal gallery exhibition for me, and was really happy that I did. It didn't necessarily need to spend that much time in there. It was like an hour, and I'm very much nourished as a result of those things. And there are other things that I've been doing that acknowledge this need, this option there is for all of us to make more time for spontaneous actions, and to fill your life with a little bit more variety, a little bit more adventure, a little bit more going off the beaten path, like I am over here, God knows where. And what happens then, there's another element to this which I just wanted to include, I thought was really interesting, which is that the more we make time for spontaneous stuff, the more our world starts aligning itself to that reality. We're creating a reality through the actions we choose to take. Our behaviors are molding not only an identity within our own minds about who we are, what kind of a person we are, but it also, in a funny kind of way, well, maybe this is getting a little bit esoterical, maybe that's for another video, but we're defining our life, we're defining our world through the actions we take. We might find ourselves on a path that opens up to more of that kind of activity. It's like, for example, when you make a point of being more grateful, being more thankful for the things around you. Well, what happens when you're more grateful? Then more good things start coming into your life. It's that kind of energy that we're talking about, right? And this happens because I suppose at the kind of material earth level, when we are grateful for things, we start noticing things that are working for us. We start noticing what we like in the world, and that's how our reality molds to our new behavior, our new thinking. So in the same way, by making more time for adventure, you're sending out a signal not only to yourself but to the universe, however you want to define it, that says, I'm this kind of person, this is how I live my life. You might find yourself starting to kind of recalibrate how you live life, how you make money, how you think, what kinds of friends you interact with. Whatever it is, you're starting to mold a reality that makes it more possible, more realistic, that you would have more time to be more spontaneous and to go on adventures and to do a little bit more with your life. It's a discussion worth having, I think, and at the very basic level, without getting too complicated, go and make time for more spontaneous stuff. I know that some of you guys, you've got the 9 to 5 thing, there's barely energy left at the end of the day. But that's when it's even more significant, right? When you've got less energy, less time to do that kind of thing, any small change in your routine, any decision to forego an hour of Netflix, and rather than doing that, going for a walk on the beach or something, it's going to make a bigger difference for you guys who have less time to work with, less energy to work with. Any small shift in how you do things is going to make a bigger impact. You're going to squeeze spontaneous activity into less. What's it going to do? I mean, have a think on that. You might find yourself actually starting to calibrate to this new reality. You might find yourself starting to think about, well, maybe this work isn't ideal in the long run. Maybe because I do these things now, because I make time in the evenings for other things, and I'm not taking actions that, in a sense, communicate my okayness with mediocrity in many ways. Not to say that any of your lives are mediocre, but there can be aspects of our lives, including my own, where I fall into the mediocrity trap, or the average trap, the normie trap, the let's just follow that hamster wheel grind. Your world is going to adapt. Your world is molding to your choices. And so you can make a stand against that normality routine, that normality cycle, and say, no, I'm going to do things differently. And you might find yourself edging towards making better decisions, new decisions that start opening up new channels for even more of that stuff to happen. You might find yourself receiving gifts, rewards that mirror your new choices. Maybe you find yourself getting a bonus because you're starting to do things that require a little bit of extra money or a little bit of extra time. Anyway, thought that was an interesting one. Let me know if this resonated. Do share a comment. Again, sorry about the wind. As I always say, the wind tends to find a way into these videos. I'm going to leave you with a seagull, because that's what happens in Estonia. There are seagulls about, and they're massive. So watch out for them seagulls, guys. And make some more time for spontaneous stuff, and let me know what you get up to. See you in the next video, guys.